All right.
Will the cost of living double in your lifetime? What if it does?
Well, that's a great question. You're going to want to be prepared. And what happens in the future, we kind of get a gauge by looking backwards, and things sure are a lot more expensive than when I was a kid.
Yeah, they sure are. So what in the world are you going to do about it? Are you going to have two nickels to rub together when you retire? Are you going to be able to send your kids through college? Or even going to be able to put food on the table? I remember the very first time I heard this, it was scary. I was like, wow, doubles? Like, it could double? I don't even know how to wrap my head around the fact that my mortgage could double,
Yeah.
right? Like, I don't even know what that means. So we're here to break this down for you. So let's start with the fun side of real estate. So the fun side is that you get to live your dream lifestyle, right?
Sure, yeah.
So whether you got the house full of kids and it's time for the 4-bedroom 2-story, or, maybe you want a farm like Glenn.
Yeah, I love it. Maybe you want to be closer to school.
Maybe you want school, work, grandkids. Maybe you need to downsize into the villa.
Tired of going up the steps.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's a dream lifestyle of the moment in your life that you can live in your home, and all at the same time, you can leave a legacy that matters.
Yeah.
You're like, what in the world do you mean leave a legacy with a house? Can I leave a legacy with a house, Glenn?
Of course you can. We see it all the time.
Well, there you go. So you celebrate your family. It's a great family legacy in a house. Celebrate your birthdays, celebrate the holidays, celebrate all your milestones. Like, are you 60 yet, Glenn?
Yes.
So we celebrated our 60th birthdays, right? Okay, so all at the same time, you can leave a financial legacy. So you can pass it on to your heirs.
We talked about this earlier. Most people's net worth is where?
In their home.
Yeah.
Right, it's probably one of your biggest assets. But there's the mental side of real estate, too. What's the mental side, Glenn?
That can be so daunting. Is it a seller's market? Is it a buyer's market? Are interest rates up or interest rates low? What if I make that wrong decision? You're right. One of the top 5 stressful events in all of life is buying a house. How do I get started? Did I make a bad decision? I mean, it can just be so daunting and stressful. Stress is a great word.
Stress is a great word, but most people don't like change.
No.
You like change?
No, what do they say, that the baby with a dirty diaper is the only person that likes
change? Only person that likes change.
Yes.
That's a good way to say it. So this means that you have to think about things differently if you want to build wealth. Here's a great definition of wealth that I heard recently. And it says that wealth is making your money work for you.
That's a great point.
Instead of your money working for someone else.
What would be an example of my money working for somebody else?
Well, if you're renting, your money's working for someone else.
For the landlord,
Yeah.
Credit cards?
Credit cards. If you're not paying them off every month and you're paying interest, your money's working for someone else. Right?
That's such a great way to look at it. So simple.
So simple. So if you can make this switch in your thinking, you can look at real estate as a great investment. Right?
So right now, when I think about my money, I think about how crazy expensive things have gotten just over the last 2 years.
Just over the last 2 years.
We were talking about a loaf of bread the other day.
Yeah. So not only will the cost of living double in your lifetime, but if you're in your 20s, it will double at least 3 times in your lifetime. It doubles every 20 years. Did you know that? Yeah. Every 20 years. It's a little scary, y'all. So that's why we're bringing this conversation up.
Here we are, because we talked about this. What's on everybody's mind right now, the people I talk to, inflation. They're talking about going out to dinner, how much more that is, filling up their gas tank, the grocery store. It's just crazy. But
yeah, it's mind-blowing.
There's one silver lining with inflation.
Oh, there's one silver lining. There is one good thing about inflation, right? Is that if you're in an investment that keeps up with inflation, you make money. And real estate is the one avenue that does keep up with inflation. So the silver lining is if you own a home, your house value just went up. Yeah. Just went up. So if you embrace this mental of the cost of living doubling every 20 years, you can make a plan. You can make it work for you.
You want to have your money working for you. And the best way to do that, I think, is real estate. Because we've all got that cost of shelter. I mean, we're paying rent, or we're paying our parents to stay in the basement. And we're not on that train. We have an economist here at Guild, a friend of mine named David Batney, and he talks about the real estate train. And it's not easy to get on, but once you're on that train, every month you make that payment, you're paying that principal down, And as we've seen in the last 3 years, crazy times, that house is going up in value.
That's right. I decided about, I don't know, probably about 15 years ago. So if you're young and you're listening to this, I'm so happy for you, because it took me a long time to figure this out, that the world's a little crazy and I need to buffer against the craziness of the world. And part of the craziness in the world is the cost of things. And I didn't think they would go up as fast as they have. And so I decided I need to make enough investments. I need to get my money working for me and make more money than I ever think I would need to. Because by the time, if you're in your 20s and you think, man, I just had $1 million in the bank, I'd be golden when I retire. No. If you think you need $1 million, by the time you get there, you need $3 million.
It's just crazy.
All right.
Crazy. I know you bought a condo recently, didn't you?
I bought a condo, and just right at the beginning of COVID, I made $150,000 on it. I'm like, oh my God, it's up 150. You just don't know. The time to get into real estate is really now. So back in the downturn of 2008, I was like, wow, I didn't think real estate would ever come back. I mean, it was like walking off a cliff.
Yes.
Whoop, done. Real estate decline. However, according to Freddie Mac, there's never ever been a 10-year period where real estate has not risen in value.
It's amazing. David brought that up. You can actually go to their website and look it up. It is incredible. It's one of the safest investments that you can make. And really, it's an investment that you can use.
Yes.
Your car doesn't go up in value.
No.
Your clothes don't go up in value. You eat your food.
That's right.
But a home is just an amazing tool because it gives you the lifestyle you talked about, a place to live those legacies, to raise your family, to have those moments. But it also is a great vehicle for investment and can catapult you into the future with the rise in the home value.
Yeah. Do you ever see somebody buy a bigger home and you think, oh my gosh, their payment probably doubled? Or, wow, they must have got this like awesome raise at work.
Are they making a whole lot more money than I am?
Yeah. But they haven't. What they did was they got in the real estate game early. They built some equity and they used that to catapult them to their next dream lifestyle. So they started in their starter house and all of a sudden they're living in this big 4-bedroom, 2-story with a beautiful yard because they invested in real estate early.
They sold that house. Now they've got the big down payment to put on the bigger house.
That's right.
You
So
see that
do
all the time.
payments typically double when people do that, Glenn?
No, they don't because they're putting so much money down.
They're putting so much money down.
Yeah.
More often than not, what we see is the payment not only maybe stays the same, but raises only a few hundred.
Yeah, and people start making more money as they get older and their income does increase. So they can absorb that higher payment. But the ones that started early with homeownership has such a leg up on those people that didn't because they've got that boost in that equity from that first house they bought. So that's what I'm excited about this podcast, that we're going to spend however long it takes to educate people, to teach you and how to get on that train so that your money, I love that wealth building, your money is working for you and not somebody else.
Not somebody else. That's what we're here to talk about. So next week, we're going to be talking about how to get on the train. So we're not going to just talk to first-time homebuyers, though, about that, are we?
No.
No, this conversation is for those not only who are renting, but if you're a parent or a grandparent.
That's the legacy we just talked about.
That's
helping
right.
your children, helping your grandkids. This is going to be fun.
That's right. And so there's going to be tips and tricks of how to help your kids and your grandkids build their credit.
Yes.
If your kid's going away to college, there's a special loan out there to buy a place with your child. I mean,
and we're going to get more basic than that.
Ways.
We're going to have a budget so you can know where your money's going. I think that's really the first step.
Yep.
We all work so hard and we put so much effort into our vocation, our employment, all that. We need to take that money, get it working for us, but first step, know where it's going.
Right. We're going to have some fun today because today we're going to talk about how to get on the train. And so part of getting on the train last week was about credit. This week is about our question of the day is, Glenn, do I need 20% down to buy a house? Do I have to save, like $20,000 to go buy a house or $40,000 to go buy a house?
That's a great question, and we get that all the time. And that's kind of what we call it the fun and the mentals. The fun part is you don't need, you can buy a house with no money down.
I could buy a house with no money down. Okay, come on, guys. This is fun. This is the fun part of real estate. You can actually buy a home without any money out of my pocket? Like not one dime? I could.
You could.
I
yeah.
could.
Yes.
How many programs you got? Like, is this just one?
No,
special
we've got
program?
at least 10 for those people that want to get on this train. And what's the reason why you say it's so important to buy real estate?
Well, guys, we've been talking about the cost of living, how it doubles approximately every 20 years. You've got to get your money working for you. What did we say the definition of wealth was?
When you have your money working for you instead of your money working for somebody else. Yes.
So stop paying those high interest credit card bills and invest your money. This is one way to do it because real estate always stays ahead of inflation. Very, very important part of your wealth building strategy.
Well, let's
start off
with the two that require nothing down.
Okay, there's a difference, Glenn.
Right,
You're telling me there's a difference between zero down and down payment assistance. So what's a zero down program?
Number one is the VA loan. And those are people that have been honorably discharged from their military service, and they have an incredible benefit. No mortgage insurance, no down payment, and rates that are at or below the market. The USDA program, and has to be in a certain geographic footprint. It's in a rural area, and it goes by the census or voting area, and it has to be under a certain level. But on that program, there's going to be mortgage insurance, but there's zero down payment required.
Zero down payment. Now, we have helped people get this USDA loan, and it does have a geographic footprint. It is more like Pacific, parts of Villa Ridge.
Wentzville.
Wentzville.
Arnold, Imperial.
Yes, there's parts of Arnold that are actually in USDA and considered rural. So it's not rural, don't think it's got to be Farmington.
Now, the one big difference between VA and USDA, there are income limitations. So on USDA, you can't make too much money to qualify. So those are the two,
so you got
nothing
income,
down.
You got nothing down.
And the other thing we were talking about earlier was oftentimes it's customary and we can find a way to get the sellers to help out with the closing costs.
Okay, closing costs. We'll talk about that in a minute. Let's stick with our down payments and we'll get to that.
So now we've got
what else you got? What's your next favorite down payment assistant program? What's the next one is kind of your
So it's going to depend on your qualifications, and really it's so much that it might overwhelm some people. But my favorite one is the Borrow Smart Access and the Borrow Smart 321, which are all three essentially the same programs.
Okay, so I got to tell you this. Guild has apparently been awarded by Forbes.
Yes, Forbes magazine.
3 years in a row, top first-time homebuyer lender.
Right.
321. Tell us what that program is.
So that program, again, it's going to be based on your income. You can't make too much money for that program. And you're going to get anywhere from $1,500 to $500 towards closing costs or down payment. Mm-hmm. You're also going to get a gift card from the Home Depot for $2,000.
Wow. Now, that has income limits on it, is what you're saying.
Make too much. It's
how much do I have to have saved up for that one?
That program, you'll need 3% down.
3% down. All right. So 3% down. If I'm buying a $200,000 house, I need $6,000. Right. All right. I need $6,000 down. Now, what's your next favorite one?
So in Illinois and Missouri, we have bond programs, and those are programs set aside by the state of Missouri to assist people with down payment, and they'll actually loan you the money for the down payment, and then if you're in the home long enough, they'll forgive that loan.
Oh, so they forgive it like 20% a year. So Missouri Housing Development Corporation, MHCC, First Time Homebuyer Program. All right. So you said there's like 10 of these. What else
so
is there?
There's all kinds of programs that are set aside. There's Beyond Housing. There's
okay, Beyond Housing. Let's talk about that. I've helped people stack these programs. So I know Glenn has done this for us. MHCC and Beyond Housing. We've mixed these two programs together, used two programs at the same time, and I remember a client got $10,000 in grant money. She had to take a class. She had to be on, income limit.
It kind of comes and goes, but it's still a great program. If you're around Washington University, has an amazing program if you live by the college where you can get a lot of money. So the thing is, I think it can be overwhelming. It's certainly not a one-size-fits-all.
No.
I mean, these are needs-based programs.
You may be able to buy a lot sooner than you think and get on the train. So the mental part of this is that you don't need as much as you think, and you really should get screened as early as you can. Screen the credit, like we talked about last week. Screen for these programs.
All right.
Now, the younger you are, the less you make, the more opportunity you have. So if you wait, you might earn too much and then you like earn your way out of these programs. So sooner rather than later is what I would encourage you to do.
Yeah, what we say is we're gonna take all that information. I always say it's like putting a big puzzle together. We're gonna get all that information, and then we're gonna screen for which one of these programs is gonna fit you the best.
Okay, so whether you're a first-time home buyer, and by the way, if you haven't owned a home in 3 years, you're a first-time home buyer.
Yeah, a lot of people think that they bought a house 5 years ago. Yeah, 3 years.
Yeah, there's also a next step program for people who are buying their second homes, but if you haven't owned a home in 3 years, you're a first-time home buyer. And so let's get screened. Let's get screened for these programs. Yeah.
So if you do have some money for a down payment, then maybe we don't have to worry about the income limitations. And a lot of times people don't think about sources of money for a down payment. My favorite one is a gift from a relative. Right now, a lot of the older generation or their kids are buying houses. They've got a lot of equity in their home. They've got a lot of money saved up. And it's a great way for them to help their children.
There you go. So, grandma, grandpa, parent. So if you're a parent, if you're an aunt or uncle, you're a brother or sister, it doesn't matter. If you're someone who knows someone who is a little bit younger or might be able to qualify because they haven't been in the game for the last 3 years, encourage them that they really don't need as much as they think they do. You don't need as much as you think that you need. Okay, so our question of the day, Glenn.
Yes.
Is how can you help your son, daughter, or your grandchild purchase their first home?
Yeah, that's a great
Do they have question. To do it on their own?
No.
Or can you help?
No, there's tons of ways to help. And I'd say, where are we going to find the fun in this? What's more fun than helping your kids get a good start in life?
Oh, no doubt about it. Because we always have a lot of mentals when it comes to real estate and lending. I'm just saying, right?
Let's start with you got a kid graduating from high school. They're heading into college. We got the Family Opportunity Loan, which allows you to buy a home for your child in college with little as 5% down. It's a great way. Your kid's not going to have to rent.
So wait a minute. So if my kid goes away to college, let's say they're in Missouri State and they're in Springfield. Yeah. And you're like, hey, renting an apartment, that's pretty costly. There's an alternative.
There sure is.
I could buy like a condo or something, and then I could help buy a condo for my kid.
You can buy it, and it's not considered as rental property. It goes under this family opportunity. Little as 5% down. They rent in there, maybe get a roommate or two. Your asset is appreciating. They've got their housing settled, and voila.
So you can level keep the payment leveled out, right? That's the benefit of buying is that somebody can't mess around with the rent cost, right? And then you're building equity at the same time. So what you're saying is, I don't need 20% down like I'm an investor, and I don't have to pay high investor rates.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah,
I get a homeowner occupant rate, which is always lower.
Right. And that program also works if you have a special needs child that's an adult, and to help them get in a house, or we're talking about kids, but an aging parent. So that you can all wrap that around that same family. So if I have a
disability, a child with a disability, and I want to help get them buy a house or a condo, right, or townhome villa, doesn't matter.
No.
2-family?
No, 2-family. Yep.
Oh, even a 4-family?
I'm almost certain a 4-family, yes.
That's okay, so program. I could do a multifamily even, and I could just do as little as 5% down. You can do more.
Of course, in a way that parents can help is helping with the down payment. That's the big hurdle. That's the hurdle. We talk about down payment assistance. Well, giving your kids a gift of 3% down, 3.5% for an FHA, 5% down, whatever, to help them get.
Oh, wait a minute. So I don't need 20%.
No, you don't need 20%.
Woo! No. All right.
And the parents can give the money to think.
Now, as a grandparent, you can do this.
A grandparent can do that. Yes.
Or our parent can do this. Mm-hmm. Right. So as far as gifting goes, can another near relative do it?
Yes.
When you're just gifting.
It says close relative, or an FHA even allows a friend, but a conventional. They want it to be a relative.
A friend can do it.
On FHAs, Oh, so that's awesome. One way.
Okay.
Let's just say the parent wants to help out, and but they don't want to give the money; they want to loan the money to do it.
Okay.
So now possible? It's possible. We have to qualify with that loan payment, so it's a set of payment, and it has to be a secured loan. So typically, when we're using the loan, this is when the children they've got a house that they're in, they're buying another one non-contingent, they've got plenty of equity. The parents are going to give them a bridge loan to bridge the difference. That's fine, but we have to file a note and a deed of trust against the existing property.
And basically the collateral is going to be their existing home.
Yes.
So what if they don't have an existing home and they just want to go buy their first home
So
and
then
I
a loan
want
is
to
not
loan
going to
it
work.
to 'em.
So then we're going to have
I
to.
can't do a second on the house.
No.
I got to loan it against a car or some other asset.
A car is not
Or
going to
just
work.
or you could just do a personal loan.
No, because it's not secure. That's a good question.
Oh,
Then we're going to say, then we're going to set the
okay.
step up and say this is going to have to be a gift. And if they want to-
Okay.
So they will have to step out that on faith on that one.
Okay.
So
So what
another
if I'm a parent who wants to loan all the money to my kid when they're buying? Like, I want to be the bank. Can I do that?
Of course you can. Yeah, I mean, that's where you're buying a real estate. It's no different than buying anything else. Now, if you want to, to be prudent, you should probably get an attorney to draw up a deed of trust and a note,
And
so
the
that's
promissory
secure.
note.
Right.
Right.
But,
And
you know,
secure it against a house.
Right.
Right.
And we've done that before. Again, with that bridge situation, when the parent will do that, then they sell the house, then they're going to pay it back and come to somebody like me for the difference. But
So if you're going to loan, all the money to your child to buy, and you are going to be the bank, you can't just gift them the money. Okay, so there are a lot of gifting rules. I think it's 17, 18 grand per child right now. And if you're like, well, I'll do a loan, a deed of trust, and a promissory note, but I'll just charge them 0 or 1%. Guess what? Can't do that either. You can, but the government's like, hey, if you don't do the rate that we set out, if we don't use, which I think is around 3.5% or 4%, it kind of rolls between there right now. That if you don't do the interest rate that we set every month, in the month that you're gifting that loan, you're going to have to pay taxes on what you should have made off of that loan. Believe it or not, the government does not want you giving a bunch of money to your kids without them getting a piece of it. Yeah. That's just the way they are, right? So the gifting, though, if you do want to gift, though, you can gift per spouse. So as a parent, I could gift my son, I think it's 18 grand. I could gift my daughter-in-law 18 grand. I could gift my grandchild 18 grand. And then my husband can do the same thing. He can give 18 to the son, 18 to the daughter-in-law, 18 to the...
So I would say...
right? So you can do a gift of a sizable amount per person, per spouse.
And this is changing, so I would say, we both say, contact an accountant first. Yeah. And talk to them to make sure that we're up with that. But yeah. Definitely it can be done. Mm-hmm. So another thing that we see a lot of right now is what we call a gift of equity.
Oh, a gift of equity. So now, this is very unusual. How does this work?
I've been doing this for a long time, and it's really not that unusual. So let's say I'm a parent, and I'm moving. I'm going to be selling my house.
Okay.
I've got plenty of equity that my son, daughter, grandchild, whatever relative wants to buy that house from me.
All right.
So instead of discounting the price, I can say I'm going to sell it to you at this price, and I'm going to give you that equity in between.
So who determines this price? An appraiser? Like
so
the
we are
going to get appraiser? Do I have to figure out the price ahead of time?
Well, you kind of got to find out what you want. So typically we're going to say, it could be that it's $100,000 home. We only want $80,000 out of it. We're going to give you the equity of $20,000.
So you're still going to sell it to the child for $100,000. Right. And the bank's going to say,
we're going to have to get an appraisal.
I only have to loan you $80,000. Right. So it's like you're putting 20% down without actually putting out a dime out of your bank account.
It's a great program, right? And
you're just gifting them the equity,
and
the difference between what you're selling and what the property's really worth.
That equity can include all the closing costs, all the prepaids,
wow,
and the down payment. Now we're going to get an appraisal to make sure that it appraises for that amount.
Sure.
And then instead of you giving them the money and them giving it back to you,
right?
We're just going to say we're going to do the gift of equity.
Gift of equity. Now, what if my parent passes and my son, so the grandson of the one who passed away, wants to buy the home? Now, I've inherited it, so now I guess it's mine,
right? And
so can I do the same thing on an inherited house? It doesn't have to be one I lived in. Can it be any one I own, even a rental house that I had? Mm-hmm. Yeah, oh wow! Could even be a rental
inherited.
House.
We're seeing a lot of that right now, just because the houses are so scarce, and it's a great opportunity to help with that equity. The example I did not too long ago was a sister and brother inherited a house from their parent. The mom wanted to give her half of the equity to the daughter. The uncle or her brother wanted his half in cash. So what we did, we just did a refinance. It was a $200,000 house. My borrower borrowed $100,000. We paid off the uncle, and she's in a house. I think this one actually appraised for $230,000. Great deal for her. So it's a great way for the parents to help their children. What's more fun than that?
It's a super great way to help out.
So what if our kids aren't old enough to buy a house?
Yeah. So how can we get them in the position to become a homeowner? Because regardless, even if you're gifting or whatever, they still have to have the credit. They still have to have the income.
And
so how can I help somebody who's, say, just turned 16, 17 years old, start getting in the position to buy a home and have good credit? I know the best tip that you ever gave me when my kids were younger was adding them onto one of our credit cards as an authorized user.
It's a great tip.
Right? Yes. So that helps build their credit. And I
does.
didn't even have to give them a credit card.
No,
you have just an authorized user.
You have to activate the card. You still want to start building that credit. And I know Dave Ramsey, there's an old thing about Dave Ramsey had a credit card he issued, and it had a $0 limit. So, because Dave doesn't like credit. So, but it's important, maybe go get a secure card, put $200 in the bank.
Yeah, so a secure card just means whatever money that you've put in, like putting it in a bank account, that's all you can spend, and the card will not let you charge more than what you put into an account.
And then put some meals, some fast food, and then pay it off.
And then pay
a little bit, pay it off a little bit. What a great way to get them a good start and start building wealth through real estate.
Absolutely. So the sooner you buy, the more equity you build over your lifetime. So let's go back to the fact that the cost of living doubles every 20 years. So the sooner you buy, the better, especially since we're in such a low inventory environment when it comes to homes. This is not a problem we're solving anytime soon, and these house prices are going to continue to rise. The sooner they buy, the average age of first-time home buyer is like 35. I want to encourage you, buy at 25, buy at 21, buy at 25. Your wealth is going to build much faster over your lifetime than anyone else.